Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening. You are watching Nub's Collection, a YouTube series dedicated to the cataloging and review of every game in my physical media collection. As always, I am your host, Victory Nub, and today we are looking at Justice League Task Force. Developed by one of the weirdest combos in video game history, Sunsoft and Blizzard Entertainment, published by Acclaim Entertainment and released in the United States in June of 1995. Justice League Task Force is, of course, a fighting game, a genre which was absolutely exploding in the mid-1990s. Sunsoft had very little experience developing fighting games, but had acquired the licensing rights to Warner Brothers' catalog several years earlier, and in fact, we've already looked at several of those licensed games on this channel up to this point. The two Batman games that were released on the NES, Roadrunner's Death Valley Rally and Tasmania, just to name a few. In February of 1995, Sunsoft of America laid off a majority of its staff following a disastrous investment in a Palm Springs golf course and was forced to transfer its license rights to Acclaim Entertainment. Blizzard Entertainment, no stranger to port work, was given the development tasks after Sunsoft committed to its restructuring. Blizzard was only a year removed from rebranding themselves, having been founded in February of 1991 as Silicon and Synapse, Inc. The rebrand was done to distance themselves from the confusing distinction between silicon, the material used in production of microchips, and silicone, the material used in breast implants. The studio went through two other renames, Chaos Studios and Ogre Studios, before settling on Blizzard Entertainment in May of 1994. Justice League Task Force would be the last non-original IP that Blizzard would develop and release, pivoting after this to the development of their core trio of franchises, those being Warcraft, Diablo, and soon after this, StarCraft. Justice League Task Force features 9 playable characters, 6 of which are members of the titular Justice League. Martian Manhunter, Fire, and Shrapnel were also considered for inclusion, however all 3 were omitted due to memory limitations on the cartridges. This game was also released on the Sega Genesis, which was not much bigger in terms of storage space than the Super Nintendo. Having a fighting game in which the majority of fights occur between heroes and allies of the same team is obviously very strange. However, there is a story conceit that we should see as the game progresses today. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Come on. I see the menu. Now, go to options. First thing I gotta check every single time when I'm going through these is if I can change the configuration, because for some reason they absolutely love putting the heavy attacks on the shoulder buttons, and I hate that. Let me punch and kick with the L or Y and B buttons on the Super Nintendo controller, please. Always. I don't want light punches on the face buttons. Get those out of here. We don't need them. Unfortunately, there is no option to change the audio to sweet stereo sound, so I'll have to just leave it as is, although I think it's already in stereo. We'll leave the time limit. I don't think it's going to matter. Difficulty, it depends on how awful I'm doing. I don't know if we'll actually beat the game today. I would certainly love to do so, but I'll be very upfront. I think I played this game maybe 3 or 4 times after I got it and just never touched it again. It's not a very good game. All right, let's see. I think in just the standard story mode, you can only play as members of the Justice League. It's 6 members of the Justice League as your primary characters that you could choose. Daily Planet, Darkseid declares war on Earth. Ooh, U.S. military base, Darkseid's first target, United Nations, something or other, blah, blah, blah. You can freeze frame if you want to know that bad what the story is. All right, so your choices are Aquaman, Batman, The Flash, Superman, Green Arrow, and Wonder Woman. I'm going to go with Batman. I don't know if there's one obvious better choice than all the others. I'm sure someone has a tiering system for this game. Darkseid's opening attack on Earth took the whole world by surprise, but that alien fiend's plans won't go unstopped. And if Earth is to be spared being turned into a planet of slaves, I'm going to have to act fast. That's My best Kevin Conroy, sorry. I'm going to need the help of the entire Justice League. I'll say this, the cape flapping in the breeze looks very well animated. There's not going to be a ton of positive things for me to say about this game today, unfortunately. Owie! I'd say if you're going to ape a fighting genre game, and you're going to be doing the one that everybody aped at this point, which was, you know, Street Fighter, there's a couple of things you have to get absolutely right, and I'll see if they get them right in this game. So far, it looks like they're doing most of the ones that you would know. Number one, there has to be a good balance of the rock, paper, scissors of your stances and which hits will land versus which will be blocked. Being a high attack or a standing, a neutral attack basically, a low attack, this right here, or a jumping attack like what I just did there. Overhead is what they sometimes call them, and boy am I getting rocked. Come on, game. Holy I'm gonna have to turn the difficulty down. I barely hit him, I was just trying to talk. Okay, difficulty 3, too high. Can I make this go faster? I don't know if there's a button I can press. Hey, Aquaman, I know that, you know, in reality, you're way stronger than Batman. You didn't have to make him look like such a chump. In fact, I'm pretty sure with the exception of Green Arrow, everybody on this team would kick Batman's ass with the exception of maybe the Flash, if somehow Batman found a way to take advantage. Oh, I didn't change the difficulty. Oops. It's all right. Whatever, we'll do it again. Maybe I'll have better luck if I'm paying attention. Part of that was me trying to feel out what the special attacks are. The game relies very heavily on quarter circle attacks. So your quarter circle attacks being like down, down, forward, forward, and then either a punch or a kick, or down, down, back, back, and then another kick. They also have a couple of half circle attacks. From what I recall reading about the moves, and again, it's been ages since I played this game, most of the attacks just aren't that fun. I mean, he throws a batarang in this move, or in this game, but man, it doesn't look very fast. Oh, I don't love that. Boy, he's just ripping his ranged attacks off like nothing, man. I'm trying to get one off, and it's taking forever to set up. Ah, oh, damn you! Yeah, we're definitely going to turn that difficulty down. I want to actually see the characters, not just get my ass beat by all of them. Oh, okay. Like that was his special for the kick button. And then there is one for... What the hell, dude? Let me do something! This is bullshit! I don't know how people can do these, like these inputs so cleanly and hit everything perfect. Oh, screw you, game. Jesus Christ. Just let it sit for a couple seconds. Good Lord. Okay, let me lower the difficulty, game, please. I want to see the story. What little story there is in this game. Alright, come on. Get to the options. Return that way down. Is there a half circle option for the difficulty? How about one where the computer just doesn't know how a controller works and it stands there the whole time? Alright, let's do this again. We're gonna be Batman. I don't need this story, I already know it. Not much of a build-up for each of the levels, is there? And why is Aquaman's stage an aquarium? There we go. Interesting. So, and this is something that I've talked about in other fighting games that we've looked at on the channel, is the distinction between when you're supposed to input the attack with the directional buttons and when you're supposed to wait after you enter the directional inputs. This game seems to be one of those ones where you need to do the directional inputs, wait like a half a beat, and then do the button press, whatever it is, punch or kick. I'm gonna find... There's a half circle move he has. I just haven't figured it out yet. Okay, Aquaman, stop being a dick! Yeah. Now, I don't know if this is just because they didn't understand how exactly it was supposed to work, but this is not one of those games that had the Shoryuken style of input where it's like forward, down, down, forward for any special high damage moves like, you know, a flying uppercut of any kind. Half circle they had no problem putting in. Oh! Uh-oh. What was that? He, like, grabbed my collarbone and just pulled down. Ew. And as has been tradition, the superhero that got beaten exploded at the very end of the fight. Totally normal. Not story-related in any way. This is insanity! Why would a Justice League member attack me for no reason? I better go talk with another member of the Justice League and find out if they know what's going on. I'm sure they won't attack me and force me into a 2-round fight. where I knock them unconscious and then wait patiently for them to get up, recover all their health, and we do it again. Ow. Oh. Alright, what is the... Oh. I really want you to stop for long enough for me to do the half circle move, but I know you're not going to let me. Oh. Oh. I believe the Flash is the one character in the game that has your Chun-Li style of press the buttons really fast and, you know, do rapid punches type move. Oh! Oh! Which makes sense. I mean, if you're going to ape a game like Street Fighter, and you're going to have a character that attacks so fast that, you know, the punches are basically impossible to see, you do the Flash, right? I get that, you know, technically Superman could do that as well if he wanted to, but he's always been a brute force guy, not necessarily a does everything way faster than everyone else type guy, which he can't do. It's just he chooses to do it the other way. I'm not going to pretend to be an absolute expert on everything DC. I've always been more of a Marvel kid. That said, everyone... Oh! Oh! I was so close to perfect. And now he's countering my moves. I'll counter this! Haha! Another hero is exploding. This is so weird. My homework! I do know that Acclaim was involved in the development of Bart's Nightmare, or the publishing of Bart's Nightmares, and they were involved in the publishing of this game. 2 Justice League members attacked me without cause. What's happened to them? They're supposed to be heroes, like me. There must be a member of the Justice League somewhere that could explain what's going on. And not attack me. Superman? Wait a minute. I didn't break my foot on his jaw. This can't be him. Uh-oh. Oh, here's your Sub-Zero. Oh, there we go. I knew there was a half circle move for him. Just had to figure out what it was. Nope, not that. I actually have the special moves pulled up. I might pause for a second here and see what the fourth one is. I mean, I've seen most of them. Whoa! Looks like Superman decided to chew some extra strength dentine gum before fighting this fight. His breath is so fresh. Key up. Alright, what is the... I'm being a doofus right now. What's the move set for Batman? 2 kicks. Back, back, down, 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 forward, forward, kick. Alright, so it's... That wasn't it. That wasn't it. Owie! Yep, there it is. Well, that was lame. It's like they didn't know how to make Batman look cool in a fighting game, so they said, we'll just have him do a combo kick, and it doesn't look all that exciting. Uh-oh. Oh, look at that. The timing. I believe in this game, Superman is the only character capable of flying. As technically, Wonder Woman should be able to as well, depending on what era you're talking about. I guess in earlier versions of Wonder Woman, the only way she could fly was with her invisible jet. That wasn't a real Justice League member any more than the others were. Something has happened to the real heroes. I can only hope the same thing hasn't happened to the rest of the Justice League. Let's go fight the rest of them and find out. I love that all of these heroes have an audience of just animals. Not one human being is willing to stick around and see this happen. Far cry from the usual audiences that occur in Street Fighter, and I would say Mortal Kombat, but I don't know if there's... Well, the first Mortal Kombat, they fight in an arena with a bunch of people watching. But yeah, not a lot of human beings watching these fights. Oh, we blocked each other's shots. Didn't block that one, you piece of shit. I don't know, there's something off about these special moves. They just aren't, like, coming off as smooth as I would like. Oh! I think the one thing you have to get, if you... Ooh, okay, so he has a freeze move. The one thing you absolutely have to get right if you're going to make a fighting game is you got to make the special moves work. Just... If it means, you know, the tiniest bit of forgiveness in the window from transitioning from a directional pad move to a button press or a control stick move to a button press, it has to work. Another fake hero. Whatever is going on, I bet that Darkseid's behind it. Anything else would be too much of a coincidence, but I can't give up hope now. Let me go track down the last member of the Justice League, my paramour. Wait, is there another one? Yeah, no, there isn't. Wonder Woman. Oh, she blocked! That was a nice little touch there. I don't know what she had to do. I wonder if that's just like a standard block, like she just automatically blocks. Whoa! Alright, well, we're not doing that anymore. Whoa! Nice dodge. Gave her a very forceful kiss. They did not hold back on the epic bubage for Wonder Woman's model in this game. Okay, enough of the... That's not gonna work. Combo! Uh-oh. So there's your Scorpion-style move. Come here! Oh. See ya! That would be your M. Bison-style head stomp. I mean, if it wasn't obvious, most of the attack choices that they gave to these characters were aped from either Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. Look, if you're going to be making a game in a genre that's already been dominated by two other sources, you gotta copy your notes from them. It appears as if Earth's salvation is in my hands. I'm on my own against Darkseid, and I know just where to start to find him. We're going to the place where the heaviest population concentration exists. An alien spaceship. They changed the order in which the characters appear. What I read was you're supposed to fight Cheetah first, and then Despero, but maybe it doesn't necessarily stay locked. It's not like Street Fighter 2, where you always fight in the same order. It's always M. Bison, then Vega, then Sagat. Come on, do your kick. There we go. Key up. The one alien in the background looks like the Mantis from Space Ghost. I can't remember the damn character's name. I was gonna say Brack, but Brack's the funny one. Ah! No! Why aren't you doing the move? Oh boy. Ow! He's playing the long game. You know, if I was asked who are the bad guys that you had to fight in a Justice League game, I don't think I would have named either of the two characters that they chose for this game. That aren't Darkseid, that is. Again, not the deepest bench in the world when it comes to characters that I could name definitively from DC, but yeah, I don't have any clue who Despero is, or who his primary nemesis would be. Ooh! Cheetah I would know, because that's Wonder Woman's nemesis, basically. You're nothing but Darkseid's pawn, Despero. I want the truth. Where is Darkseid? And what has he done with the Justice League?
I was left here to tend his spaceship while he prepared for an attack on Earth. Darkseid confides in only one other of his servants.
And we're going to see them in the most heavily populated part of the planet, Africa. Hey, woo. Nice moves, kid. Key up. Oh, I like that. Oh, ooh, she's got some speed. Befitting a cheetah. And because, you know, you can't be a female cheetah hybrid and not have massive mammaries, just like a cat. And full butt cheeks. That said, I feel like they went maybe a little bit overboard on Batman's junk there. I mean, it definitely looks like there's a bulge. You guys Blizzard might have been a little bit horny when they made this game. Whoa! Ooh! I like the, you know what? That's a really nice touch. In the background there, the one jaguar that's up in the tree has a an antelope dragged up into the tree with it. Oh, she has got some good Shoryuken combos there, man. Every time I try to do a jumping attack, she's right there to respond. Respond to that. Beat you. Oh, headbutt for the finish. Or a violent kiss? I don't know. And to celebrate the victory, the Lion Pride decided to attack Batman and maul him to death. You're not who I want, Cheetah. Darkseid is the real threat. Tell me where he is.
I have nothing to fear from even you. Go to Darkseid, engage him in battle, but you will not survive.
Hey, what up?
I did not think that you would be able to defeat my lackeys or the robots with which I replaced your fellow Justice League members. But I have one more adversary awaiting you, one more powerful than you could even imagine.
Well, you, right? I fight Darkseid now? Or me! Oh, you sneaky jerks. Now, wait a minute. I don't remember there being a... Oh, look at that! Now, I would never have thought to try that if they hadn't said something. So apparently, if you just double tap forward, you can dodge an attack. Or not a attack, but a... Oh, ranged attack. Oh, right through him. Don't you dare. Come here, I'm gonna take it out on you with a kiss. No, I didn't get him. I just reached out and palmed his face. Sounds like they didn't even go with the B team for the soundtrack for this video game. They went with the C or D team. They're like, just press whatever keys sound like they're the right ones. Oh boy. He's starting to fight smart. I need to get in close. Oh! Oh, you jerk. Oh, headbutt. I believe there is a close-up move for kicks as well. Yep, there we go. I've been doing the punch one. Oh, right in the face. Block. Would help if I hit the right button to do that move. Keep trying to do the one... Oh, he just gave up. Look at this. He has a very sad face. Oh, I lost.
You impress me, hero, but my plans shall not be thwarted. Once I have conquered Earth, the planet and its people shall serve as the base for the conquest of the universe. I will destroy you with my own hands.
Look, he's doing squishy fingers. I shall squish you like this. Squish, squish. All right, final boss fight of the entire game. Oh! Again, another fight that really doesn't make logical sense because Batman is definitely not on the same level of strength as Darkseid, but whatever, it's a video game. Stop thinking about it. Ooh. Oh! Doesn't matter what alien species you are, you can punch in the junk, that's gonna hurt. Key up. Oh! Oh, and then he kneed me in the face a bunch. Key up. God, I wish I had known about that move sooner. A nice little touch. Wonder if anyone else has it, because I have definitely not seen anyone else dodge an attack by just double tapping forward. Makes me wonder if there's a double tap backwards. Oh, there sure is. Look at this. Yeah, spry little guy. It works on just about everything. Oh. Hup. Key up. Oh, getting close and do those attacks. Yeah. That makes sense. That should be what he's doing this whole time, is just doing up close, like, just power moves on Batman. Grab him and punch the crap out of him or knee him in the face or whatever. It's over. Look at me, I beat the game on the easiest difficulty. I'm a hero! It's over, Darkseid. Earth is safe. You'll pay for what you did to that one missile base. Well, exactly one missile base. Congratulations, now try higher difficulty. So, there wasn't a whole lot of story involved in the development of this game. I think part of that was, again, because Sunsoft was kind of transitioning between a fully functional company making games as fully and completely as possible to a company that basically had to fire everyone and put together a skeleton crew once they fired all the executives that were getting paid to do nothing. And they handed it off to another studio and said, hey, we need this release like summer of '95, and Blizzard said, all right, we'll do what we can with what we got. And no, I don't think there is a dramatic change in what story you get if you play on a higher difficulty. I think it's just as threadbare as what we saw there. I don't know what the difference is between battle and versus. I'm guessing battle is just one player versus computer, and maybe versus is two player. We'll play around a little bit. We'll do Darkseid and see who they throw me up against. I don't know if this is literally just a gauntlet where you go through all the other characters, but you can use the bad guys. But we'll do a couple of fights here, and then we'll go ahead and call it a day, because we've seen just about everything there is to see in this one. Oh, no, you don't. What are his moves? Owie! Oh. I really like... Oh, look at that! So if I double press forward with Darkseid, he just does like a little shoulder check, and it does count as a hit. There we go. Oh! It caught me at a power squat. Oh! I was gonna I gotta close range. This is a ranged attack guy. Now let's see what they have for moves for this character. Charge and punch, back down. Ooh, a half circle for a punch move. Jump on, back down, forward, kick. Knee to the head, forward, and kick while right next to the... Okay, so they only gave him 3 special moves. And 2 of them are half circle moves, so they really did not want you to use this character much. Oh, I started it, and then the dude blocked it. There it is. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks, because you land it, and then he just jumps over the enemy because he has one directional input, and that's it. Or one direction that he can land that attack on. Like, that is not M. Bison-esque. M. Bison lands that attack no matter where you are. Ah, this sucks. Come on, dude. Quit being a dick. Oh, got it. All right, so that was his other move. And this is the move set here. It's just charge and close. It doesn't do much damage, but it breaks whatever they're doing, and it's fast. You got to do that shoulder check. Wonder if anyone else has that ability. Looks like they kind of shorted Despero as well. They only gave him 2 moves. The Eye Blast and Jump and Kick. Some of the dumbest move attack names ever. It's like Warner Brothers said, hey, we don't have any real, like, official names for any of these moves, so don't call them anything. Just, hey, did they jump and kick? Call it Jump and Kick. All right, Aquaman, quit being a dickhead. Damn it. His special is he spits on you a bunch. Whoa. Oh, come on. Whoa! Oh, come on, I got the throw in first. Screw you, game. We'll try... Let's try Superman, and then we'll call it a day. Assuming they let you play as another character, not just Darkseid. There we go. Interesting, they marked off Green Arrow, but then they let you change to a different character? Alright, so Superman, as though his last name was Superman. He gets Heat Vision, which is just a quarter circle forward. Ice Breath, which is a full half circle back. That's rough. A Flying Punch, full half circle forward. Fly, which is a quarter circle back and kick. And a Downward Flying Punch, just a punch while you're flying. Oh, didn't do that right. Oh! Okay, let me up. Let me up! Oh, you dick! Quit beating up Superman. Yeah, right in the eyeballs. That's what you get. And if I was Superman, that's how I'd finish every fight. I'd just blind the enemy and then waylay them because they can't see. Gotcha. Alright, what is his... Okay, he just leaps back or forward. But he also punches. So it looks like just about everybody has a double tap move to kind of close or get back from an enemy if that's how they want to fight. Although I do see that even in the battle mode, these characters use way too many ranged attacks. Or maybe the battle mode just has a higher difficulty than story mode. Okay, I hate Superman. He sucks. Oh, this is terrible. I'm gonna lose. No hits. I made not one f***ing hit against Aquaman. The difficulty must have gone back up to the standard. Screw that. Superman blows. Which just matches my general feeling. I don't like Superman as a character. I think he's lame. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and let that wrap, and we'll go ahead and call it a day for this one. And let's go ahead and move into the review phase. We'll do a round of the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good of the game is, I think the character models, while maybe they were a little bit too sexy for a kid's game, basically, were very well animated. They all look like their characters, respectively, and they are nicely detailed, fairly large models. Again, you got to keep in mind the time and place that the characters were developed. This was a game that came out in 1995. They look just like their, DC counterparts, so there's not a whole lot you can complain about there. They certainly were animated. There were plenty of frames for each of the attacks, so it didn't look like, say, by comparison, World of Heroes, I don't think animation-wise was the most impressive game in the world. I think maybe it was a little bit lackluster because SNK was still trying to figure out what they wanted to do. I think it was SNK. What they were trying to do in the fighting genre, and how to differentiate themselves from the other fighting games of the world, which they were obviously aping at that point because everyone was playing catch-up to Street Fighter II and eventually Mortal Kombat if you were going for a more violent form of fighting game. I do like that they didn't overcomplicate the special attacks. It was either a quarter circle or a half circle. The one thing that I do think that they added here that was a nice touch, and of course I didn't see it in the notes that I was looking at for the moves for the characters, but once I did find out that it was an option, was very nice, is that double tap forward or double tap backward move, where in the case of Batman, he can use that to close ranks but dodge an attack while he's doing it. In the case of Superman and Darkseid, they used that to actually hit the enemy, although they also had one where they could back up a little bit if they wanted to. That's really it for the good, man. There was a lot of problems with this game. Let's go ahead and do the bad. The bad is, first of all, it sounds like they did not think at all about the music for this game. Like they had maybe a couple of tracks that were already done by Sunsoft before the game was handed over to Blizzard, and Blizzard was like, we don't really do music, and our studio that does it is tied up working on another project, so we're just going to leave what's in there. Some of those stages, it was literally just nature noises. Some of them, the music was just too quiet and not terribly suitable for the character. I mean, Superman and Batman stages kind of fit their characters, but nothing else I heard during this game made me think of the respective heroes that they were supposed to be representing. So terrible music in this game. I really wish games that were so desperate to ape the formula that Street Fighter had gotten so right could get the timing for their special attacks down correct. Because in the case of this game, there's a little bit of a lag between doing the directional pad input and pressing the attack button to get the move off. So there were plenty of times where I was trying to do a move and it just didn't work. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's you have to leave a little bit of a window of input for the attack button when you do the directional pad input, so that if they press it, maybe a frame or two before you finish the input, or a frame or two after the input, it still works. In this one, it felt like you had to do the input, you had to wait, then do the attack, or it wouldn't have worked. And it was very frustrating because I felt like I was doing them over and over and over, and half the time it just wasn't working. And again, I'm not the biggest fighting game enthusiast in the world, but I feel like if you're going to make a game where there are special moves, you got to make them work. They cannot miss because, oh, you were a frame early on the button press, so it just doesn't connect. That sucked. It felt like there were not enough special moves for these characters, and some of them were just lame. Like in the case of Batman, it was, hey, I can do a combo kick where I kick once and then spin and do another kick. That was boring and lame. Darkseid didn't feel like there was a whole lot to him. It was like he can shoot his laser beams, but then also stomp on enemies. And they clearly did not know what the characters that they were representing in these games were good at in some cases, and just said, have them punch or kick, but like do it slightly different than they normally punch or kick. And that's boring and lame. Like they had a franchise and they were told to make a game for it, and they didn't know what to do to make it seem fair for the characters. The ones that actually had something special and different about them, they did well. The ones that didn't, they just threw up their hands and said, I don't know, have them do a combo punch. So that it was terribly weak there. the fact that you're fighting mostly against other heroes is a terrible choice for a video game based on comic book characters. There should have been more villains for you to play as, and not just in battle mode where everything is unlocked. In the standard story mode, and I get it, they had a story conceit where you're fighting robots or androids that Darkseid sent after you, but just because the game is called Justice League doesn't mean it has to be only Justice League characters. There is a huge number of villains just for Batman and Superman alone that they could have put in this game, and they didn't. They went with one villain for Wonder Woman, and I don't know who Despero is supposed to be the villain of. Maybe that was one that was supposed to be like a nemesis for Martian Manhunter, and then they ended up not putting him in the game. Just, come on, any of the Batman. Put Joker in this game. Joker would be easy. There's so many silly things you could do. Have him do a move where if he gets up close and grabs an enemy, he uses, his electric buzzer to electrocute them and have that be a real high damage attack. Or one of his, mini gun things where he plays, a joke shooting a gun. So easy to just fill out a roster of bad guy characters that you could have added to this game. And the fact that they only had room to put 9 characters in here means they probably shorted on the storage space for the cart. Because this game came out in '95. I'm pretty sure at this point, Super Street Fighter came out, and that game had the core 8 characters, plus 4 new characters, plus all 4 of the bosses. So 16 characters in one cart. And this game could only do 9? And again, they didn't put the full effort into storytelling or music in this game. Another bad. Where's the story? You have superheroes beating each other up, and when they finish doing that, you just have this weird, screensaver background with text. And the character doesn't pantomime any of the action going on. They're just in their resting fighting stance. So, this is a bad game, guys. As far as the ugly, again, I think maybe they went a little bit overboard sexualizing some of these characters. That's an easy complaint when it comes to female characters, but when it comes to male characters, if you're making distinct shapes in their bulge, maybe you went a little overboard with the animation of their groin area. I get it. All these heroes are wearing skin-tight suits, but you don't have to, show individual body parts through those. I don't know. There isn't a whole lot to like about this game, and ugly is usually reserved for nitpicky stuff, but most of it's bad. This isn't a good game. All right, let's go ahead and do a score for the game. We do our score in Randars, 1 to 10. This is not a great fighting game. It clearly was very half-baked. I'm going to give it a 4 Randars. As far as fighting games go, this is definitely not in the pantheon of great fighting games that inspired, sequels or homages or pastiches or anything else. This game clearly was a cash-in. Warner Brothers said, hey, fighting games are really big right now. Make a fighting game for us. And they didn't have any notes except copy Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and we're only going to give you 7 or 8 months to finish it. And then they gave it to Sunsoft, who clearly was in the middle of restructuring and getting rid of all their staff, who handed it off to Blizzard, and Blizzard was focused on making Warcraft at that time, and I think Diablo was in the process of being developed as well, so they did not put their big, primary staff on this one. They probably just put whoever was the cleanup, the one that usually did port work on games, on this, and they did not do a great job of making this a complete game. You can tell there's assets here that were probably finished and done by another studio, Sunsoft. And then when they handed it off and Blizzard was like, well, we got to get this done and out the door. What can we do right now to clean it up and get it finished? And what do we just have to say we're not going to bother with? Story was clearly not a priority, which is why everything is done with these weird scrolling backgrounds with text and the hero or villain in just a stance, some kind of pose. And the music was half-baked, so they said, it's a fighting game, let's focus on getting the fighting done, and that's it. So So this does not feel like a finished game in any way whatsoever. It just feels like they got what had to be done to call this a video game, and everything else just set it aside. And if we have time, we'll finish it, and if not, screw it. Just release on time. This is not a good game. There are plenty of fighting games we're going to look at as part of Rental Regrets, because I didn't have a ton of fighting games. Well, I didn't have a ton of Super Nintendo fighting games. I did pick up a couple of games on PlayStation and a couple on PlayStation 2. Then after that, I just kind of lost my taste for fighting games. I think they started getting more and more complex, and I was just not... I don't have the twitch reflexes for a fighting genre, you know, and certainly not now in my 40s. But yeah, this game sucks. It's not good. 4 Randars. Thankfully, we'll never have to look at it again. However, we do have a good fighting game. I think it's good. Coming up in a couple of weeks on Nubs Collection that I'll have a fun little story for. But for now, this one, if you've never played it before, be thankful. This game sucks. That's going to do it for this episode of Nubs Collection. As always, do appreciate each of you watching, and I will see you next time.